Hey everybody, it's Mike from GetYourRockOut, and I'm sat here in Manchester Academy with Alex from Nekrogoblikon. How you doing, mate?
Good, man. How about you?
Pretty good. How's the tour been so far?
It's been good. It's definitely something new for us, is playing in front of this many people, and also an audience that has probably mostly never heard of us. So it's been interesting. As I've been saying, it's definitely a diverse tour package. So none of the bands sound the same, which I think is a good thing. Because I feel like there's so many shows you see where it's 5 Norwegian puke core bands, and it's all the same subgenre. So by the middle of the show you're bored. So or at least I am. But so it's really and I think all the bands are really good. All put on amazing shows and bring something different. So it's definitely been a good time.
It's interesting you say that. I mean, given I don't want to use the word gimmick or anything, but what your band is all about. What do you think of these bands that maybe take themselves a bit too seriously? With the dark forces and all that kind of thing.
I mean, that's just that's tends to be the norm with metal. So, or heavy music is taking it seriously, which is why we have so much fun being the oddball. Even in an oddball tour package like this, we're still very still seem pretty ridiculous. So it's it's just fun for us. I feel like metal should be about having fun, and kind of it doesn't necessarily need to be this angsty, angry expression. So yeah, it's definitely been fun, and the audience seems to respond well to it, because it's something that's new for them as well. So yeah.
It's interesting that you're on tour with Limp Bizkit, because I've been following that band for about 13 years now. I still have no idea what they're all about, really. I mean, the style of music that they play, the identity that they seem to have, I mean, I would say it changes from record to record, and yet the music never really does. It's kind of interesting. I mean, what are your thoughts on Limp Bizkit just in general?
Well, they were a band that, when I was like 12 years old, that was one of the first heavy bands I ever got into. That's what got me into, obviously that's the, it was like a gateway band to get,
that is exactly how I would describe them, yes.
Yeah, that's how I got into, then I got into Korn, and then, Metallica, and then, eventually got into more and more niche genres of metal until, got into, Scandinavian melodic death metal from there. But, it all kind of started with Limp Bizkit. So I have them to thank for being here.
I went from listening to Beatles LPs when I was about 5 years old to Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water when I was about 11, and then it was just metal from then on out.
I mean, I listened to other music from there. I guess, I kind of started with movie soundtracks. That's what I listened to before I really got into bands. And then I got into The Offspring, and then I think Limp Bizkit was after that. I think so. It's kind of an odd twists and turns I've taken music, but I've become more and more open to all kinds of music. So there's definitely a period of time, and Limp Bizkit, a lot of people just kind of turned on Limp Bizkit, and especially in America, and but kind of getting a new look at them now. They're an incredible live band. I watch them every night. They're really good. I mean, they're really tight. Their tones sound amazing, and they're energetic as hell. I mean, it's kind of we were like, man, we should take some notes from these guys, which just sounds bizarre to say considering how different our music is, and how different we're about something kind of entirely different. But it's still it's a lot of fun to watch them every night. They're really entertaining.
Given how diverse your music taste seems to be, do the bands that you listen to influence the writing in any way, or is it just let's focus on the Goblins and just take it from there?
It's both. It's everything, really. I mean, I think even I think no matter what you're listening to is going to in some way, at least subtly, if not overtly, influence what you're writing. So and we listen to everything. I mean, especially Nicky or Scorpion, I should say, our frontman who's kind of the he also writes a majority of the music at this point in the band, and before he even liked metal, he only listened to, and not only listened to, but he only wrote electronica music, and now he writes all kinds of music. So I don't think he even really listens to that much metal anymore. So he always approaches metal from a very different angle, which is why I think we've been able to kind of come up with something a little bit fresh, I think.
Is that a case then of him trying to write music from a non-metal standpoint and make it metal, or is it a case of him coming in saying, "I've got this," and you're going, "No, that's not metal. We've got to try and make it more metal."
No, definitely not. No, he knows exactly what he's doing. He has a vision with it, and we all in the band write, but it's kind of like we write pieces or songs, and we bring it to him, and then he kind of adds his signature magic to it. So it's definitely so that it maintains that vision, and he's very out of the box with what he comes up with because he has such a diverse musical background. So it's a really interesting writing process.
As I understand it, the first album was written in a garage, just in college, and then the album that's just come out has been getting 5 out of 5, 10 stars from everyone. What do you feel about that kind of journey?
Oh, it's I was thinking about the fact that it started with just Nicky Scorpion, and
he doesn't take influence from the Scorpions, does he?
No, it was just a completely independent.
Just wanted to clear that up.
Completely independent thing. I think it just came from the sky. It started with just him and Tim, who was the guitarist. He's now departed the band, but. It was just the two of them, and I was actually thinking about this very thing. One of the nights I was watching Limp Bizkit, and he's mentioning, thanking the opening bands, and he says Nekrogoblikon, and I just think, never in a million years with this band that started in a garage could I imagine Fred Durst knowing who this band is and mentioning us on stage. It's just this whole experience is one of the most absurd things that's I think ever happened to any of us. So I can't complain. It's been a fun tour. The other and in addition to Limp Bizkit, the other bands have been really awesome and really cool guys also. Definitely recommend checking out Baby Godzilla, who's playing first. They are nuts and really fun to watch. They're like we try to catch their set before our set just to get us pumped up to play, because they're insane.
I see. I'm trying to figure out the person who came up with this tour. You've got Godzilla, you've got the Goblins, and then just Limp Bizkit just randomly on top.
Crossfaith, yeah, and you got Crossfaith bringing in the just kind of electronica, metalcore, kind of video gamey vibe, which is awesome. But it seems to all work, though. It sounds like a complete chaotic lineup, but I think it really the kind of energy flow of the lineup kind of works well.
Is it just so out there that it just has to work?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's too absurd to not work.
Now that Fred Durst has said it, who is the front man that you would like to hear say, "Thanks to Nekrogoblikon for coming on tour with us today"?
That's a good question. Bruce Dickinson. It's got to be Fred, and only those two. No one else.
All right, well, I think we should just about wrap this up. Do you have a message right into the camera for all our readers at Get Your Rock Out?
Keep drinking tea. And if you're not drinking tea, start drinking tea.
Thank you very much for talking to us tonight, man. Have a good show.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.